Well, it's almost a year after the Channels Forum last October, which dealt mainly on security matters and all these solutions and suggestions proffered in that particular forum. How well have we adhered to that? And joining us to look at that is a security consultant and analyst and an associate professor, Femi Adegbulu, who's done an extensive, quite an extensive works in security matters. Good to have you join us this morning.
A pleasure to be here again.
We remembered on that day, almost a year ago, at the Channels Forum, you presented a paper. You took us down history, the Metasini crisis, Boko Haram, and some other sex-related crises in the country. Now, looking at what we've seen so far with the spate of violence, especially those who got burnt on Sunday from the attacks by the sector, what do you make out of it? Are we progressing, so to speak, or are we in dire straits as it is now?
Thank you, Saline, for the intro. And for what you have said, I want to say that we have not learned any lesson. Just like in other sectors where we specialize in just presenting papers and talking in workshops and all that and conferences, but no lesson learned. That's the most pitiable aspect of our history. We don't learn anything. We don't learn from history. Our politicians don't learn. Our rulers don't learn. And that is why we keep repeating mistakes. When people say history repeats itself, I'm one of those who do not agree that history repeats itself. We have men and women who fail to learn from history. That's why the events of yesteryears repeat themselves. You know, human beings make history. So history does not have the ability to repeat itself, but we make the mistakes of yesteryears because we fail to learn from those things. So, since the time I know of a Channel Forum, which I presented that paper, you discover that all the things I outlined in that paper are still happening. You see, I give credit to the security experts, particularly those who work with government. They are working. Like I alluded in that paper, these people are working. There is an avalanche of reports on security situation in the country, but who acts on them? These guys are working. We should give kudos to the security individuals who are working for government. They do their best within the lean resources allocated to their offices. Okay, but who acts on the report they make?
Perhaps you expatiate more, you tell us more on all of this. It's a big plus you've just given to the security operatives saying that they work, but now we're trying to find solution to all of this, the modus operandi of some of these people. First, to start with, people are a little bit taken aback knowing full well that even during Operation Desert Storm, there was some kind of pause to hostilities there because of the month of Ramadan. And if this particular group is, affiliated to a religion that believes that the month of Ramadan shouldn't be used to fight wars or unleash mayhem. But we're getting to see that now there seems to be an increase even in the month of Ramadan. How do we relate all of that to the modus operandi of this particular sect? Were we taken unawares by them?
Are they really Muslims? Because
that's what they say.
Until we establish the fact that they are Muslims, before we know the kind of Muslim or the kind of Islam they practice. Now, they might be Muslim who have been radicalized. Don't forget that some of these people are on the payroll of Al-Qaeda, except we want to deceive ourselves. You see, Al-Qaeda network has just found a fertile ground in the people who are willing, okay? Because the situation in that area, part of the country, actually encouraged the incursion of Al-Qaeda. So Al-Qaeda sees that opportunity to indoctrinate individuals who are willing. Because they are empty hands. Idle hands. Which we always say, the devil's workshop. These people have no work. They have nothing doing. And many of them are not educated. They became willing hands for whosoever wants to hire them for whatever reason. Some of them don't count their lives as anything, so they can dispense with it at any time. So if you meet somebody who's a suicide bomber who does not regard his life as anything, So it will be foolhardy for you as somebody who is hedonistic by nature to want to, you understand?
How do we
so here you see a walking corpse going, just looking for where to explode. It's a dead person already, looking for where to explode. So there is nobody on earth who can dissuade that individual from carrying out his dastardly act before he does it, unless you prevent it, and that's what we don't have.
A moment here. Can they be radicalized?
De-radicalization will take a long time because the process which radicalized them, is already entrenched. Now, Nigeria has been for many, many years now, these guys have been there begging to be helped. For many years, nobody attended to them. Now that individuals are now ready to help them, well, quote and unquote, and to give them whatever they want, or maybe paying off their family and all that because they were going to die and all that. So they don't even regard their lives as anything anymore anyway. So they were ready to go and die, just like the Syrian lepers. Okay, there was this who and cry about a war in front, and then they were sitting down. They said, "Look, we are hungry anyway. We are starving. So there is war in front, and there is starvation here with us. So if we sit here, we will die. If we go forward, we will die. So let's just go and join the war and let's perish anyhow."
No, talking about solutions.
That is the situation of the so-called Boko Haram now.
Now let's talk about solutions. If you said the security operatives, they are trying, and it's about people acting on the report which they get on a daily basis. Does that suggest that the people have started volunteering information to these agencies?
First and foremost, when you are saddled with the task of access protection and prevention of losses, which is the essential work of a security individual, then one of the things you should bear in mind is to know the security risk areas and to know how to actually keep your surveillance on with a view to getting some of these security tips. That is their work. Intelligence. People also will volunteer, but I don't know the level of that now, how the level of confidence people have in the security this thing, I don't know. But the security people are doing their job. The ones that we all know that have been unearthed, what has become of those issues? There are individuals that have been penciled, that have been, pointed to as either aiding and abetting and all that. What has become of these things? So Nigeria is a country where people are even shying away from even performing their own responsibility, because even if I do it, nothing will happen after all. Nothing will happen after all, because those that have been reported yesterday, nothing has been done. So we see all these things. We are a country of unserious people, particularly the government. They don't seem to know that if the chiefs are down, they are not safe. There are many more private jets in our airports now than before, because they think that if any problem ensues, they can easily run away. But I bet you, when the chiefs are down, these people know where to go.
Now, still talking about solutions now. Recently, we have two former Nigerian heads of states that have called for dialoguing with the sect members. Would you subscribe to this?
I'm one of those who don't believe in dialoguing with people who are attacking their country unreasonably. What will you be dialoguing with them? What will you be telling them? That is if you have put a face to them, because usually it used to be faceless. They say Boko Haram are faceless. If you have put a face to this, amorphous group, then who are you dialoguing with? Who is the leader of the Boko Haram that you know? That you're going to, say, okay, come on a round table, let's discuss.
But we read in the papers.
What are their demands?
Sorry to butt in here, but we read in the papers with the coming in of the new NSA. Then, when he assumed duty, he said he has the phone numbers of some of these people. So we felt by now he should have placed phone calls to them and say, let's discuss.
That information he said was not new. There is nobody in government corridor who do not know who is who. Coming out to tell us is not new. He's not telling you anything new. If you even assume that position and you don't know those who are causing trouble, then you are not worthy of that position. You don't need to tell us.
No,
it's not just announcing that we need, but dealing with the issue.
No, because some of these leaders you've mentioned are also victims of this attack. Recently, we have the home of the vice president attacked in Zaria.
You know, sometimes if you are domesticating a young lion, and at that level, it's very, very, very innocuous. But when the lion is growing and started, asking for something that you cannot afford, you may not be able to tame it anymore. These people have been condoned for so long time. Now they have grown wings. They started asking for what nobody can grant.
But from the spokesperson of the vice president, it said the attackers are mischief makers and ammunition seekers. What do you make of this statement?
Ammunition seekers?
Yeah.
Or amnesty, you want to say?
No, ammunition seekers.
Ammunition. Well, if a government spokesperson comes here to tell you something about his principal, of course, he will say what will save his job. You don't expect any government spokesperson now to come here and say, what my principal did yesterday was wrong. And also he will do everything to safeguard his own job and to protect his boss. That's why he's qualified to be there in the first place. They are not telling you the truth. We know the truth. The truth is that the government knows those who are fomenting trouble. And the truth is that the government does not have the political will to deal decisively with this problem.